sweaty old giggle water and quilt. What you say? No boulder dash or baloney here.
Cheers, everyone, and welcome to The Unfiltered Gentleman. And now, breaking the seal all over the finer things of life, Greg, Scott, and Dan.
Oh, yeah, welcome in, everybody. The Unfiltered Gentleman. Our guest today is just the Unfiltered Gentleman. That's me. I'm Greg. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for tuning in and downloading and getting your show however you get it. Also, thanks for telling friends about the show. We've seen a little uptick in the numbers, and it's much appreciated. There's no advertising. It's just our drunken friends telling their drunken friends and them telling their drunken friends. And just, keep telling your drunken friends. We really appreciate it. Shout out to Madrid. How crazy is this? Shout out to Madrid, Spain. Huge increase in numbers in Madrid, Spain. I didn't even know they were listening to us out in Spain. So, hola, muchas gracias. I know I butchered that, but thank you guys out in Madrid for having a listen. And you guys should tweet us, some beer pictures. Let us know what you're drinking. Last time I was in Spain, I think I drank a bunch of San Miguel, which I know is not a Spanish beer. How dare I? I'm sorry. So let us know what Spanish craft beer you guys are drinking out there. We'd love to see it. I'm here at Helix Brewery down in La Mesa, California, which is basically San Diego. I'm being joined by the founder, Cameron Ball. But first, a couple of quick notes. One is Helix is having a huge 2-year anniversary party Saturday, August 26th. If you're listening to this as the show drops the week of the show dropping, that's this Saturday, August 26th, down in La Mesa at the Brewery. We'll talk a little more details during the interview. Also, don't forget you can see pictures of anything we talk about, also pictures of us talking on all of our social medias. The Unfiltered Gentleman, unless it's on Twitter, then it's at Unfiltered Gents. They hate long names. It's very rude. And finally, we have a very cool giveaway that we'll talk about at the end of the show. We're giving away some Helix swag and some Unfiltered Gentleman swag, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I think it'll be really fun and cool to get all this stuff. And yeah, I think that's everything. Enough of me blabbering on. I am here with the owner, the brewer. He's even an engineer. He's really just a man of endless talents. The main guy here at Helix, Cameron Ball.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I have to admit, we found this place on a beercation a few months ago. We were hiking nearby, and we're like, what breweries are nearby? And this popped up and Bolt popped up, and we checked this place out first, like, holy shit, not only is it really good beer, but like your place is amazing.
Yeah, we really strive for atmosphere and also great beer.
Yeah, well, you did both for sure. So first of all, introduce yourself. Give us a little bit of your background. I know you definitely weren't a brewer first.
Yeah, so my name's Cameron. I make beer here. I built the place. Started as a home brewer back in college in San Luis Obispo. Started home brewing back in 2007. Was doing the 5-gallon brews on the stove in the kitchen.
I know that pain.
Yeah, was doing that. Lived with 4 other guys up there. So we would take turns to buy the 5-gallon recipes each week. So we were brewing about 5 gallons every week.
Nice. Staying hydrated.
Yeah. So after that, that lasted a couple months, and then it just turned into more like me and one other guy there who was, brewing. They would pay for all the stuff to brew, and we would do all the grunt work. So did that for a couple of years throughout grad school up there in SLO. Got my engineering degree, moved back to San Diego, and then started engineering down here. I was doing that, still do that. Been doing that for about 7 years, and when I moved back, I wanted to start making more beer. So 5 gallons just wasn't enough for all the time that I was doing, and start to really, try and make more beer and dial in recipes. I brewed a couple times on the stove here, and it's 5 gallons. Your friends come over, it's gone instantly. Oh, yeah. So it's like, this stuff won't last. So I needed to make more beer. So invested in a more beer flat system with 3 conicals, and was doing about 20 gallons per brew I was brewing 1 to 2 times every week, so making a lot of beer and really dialing recipes that you can see here too. Most of them are the same homebrew beers. I was doing that for about 2 years and really wanted to jump up and actually open a place, and finally found a cool location, red brick building with a wood truss roof. Said, let's go for it. Signed a lease. Built the place basically from the ground up, tore out all the floors, sloped floors in the brew house area, really laid out this whole area, so with the idea that I wanted everybody to see where the beer was made each time. Going to different breweries throughout my life, I like to see where the beer is made and not just sit behind that, cold box that you can't see through. So in here, it's
cool.
It's
There's no
glass.
walls blocking anything. And where there has to be a wall in the cold box, you got the glass going so you can see through. Even the bathroom doesn't have doors on it.
Exactly, yeah. So the only walls that we really have here are the restroom walls, but there's no doors on them anyway.
Right.
So it's very, free flowing in here. You could see everything from where the grain's stored and milled to all of our tanks. So started building this place back in June of 2014 and opened 14 months later in August of 2015.
Nice.
And we've been open every day since then.
Very cool. And if you guys go to their Facebook, which is Helix Brewing Co., you can see pictures of what it used to look like. I mean, it had the drop ceiling. It was just like cubicles and stuff, right?
Yeah, it was, tiled floor, carpet.
Super boring.
Cubicles, acoustical tiles.
Yeah.
It was gross in here.
So you just gutted the place and started from scratch, basically?
Yeah, we gutted,
left the walls up?
Yeah, we took out 14 tons in 2 weekends.
Wow.
Yeah, just gutted the whole place, all the way down to the bones.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
Yeah,
though
fun.
I would imagine your background kind of lends you to that sort of project.
Yeah. So engineering really, allowed me to do the plans and also understand, the construction aspect of this, contracting portion, and really to move this project along and get the doors open.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a pause from the questions. We have 4 beers in front of us.
Yeah.
Let's walk me through a little tasting here.
All right, so the first beer that we got is the Helix Pale Ale. The idea behind the Helix Pale Ale was to come out with not a hoppy pale ale, but, just a clean, crisp pale ale. So my whole goal here with all these beers is to make them, first of all, super clean beers and crisp. We dry out each beer, so it's not that sweetness coming through. So they're very, very dry. And, the pale ale is meant to be a true pale ale, not a hoppy version of a pale ale. So
doesn't drink like an IPA like some of those do.
No.
Yeah.
So it's a true pale ale. It's just super clean.
Very clean.
Really pale looking color.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little bit of Crystal 10 in there, and that's about it for color wise.
Perfect hot day beer.
Yeah, hops in it, or just a little bit of Cascade Centennial for the main players in there, and then just a little dose of Citra in there. But we really try to pull the hops back on that to still maintain it as a true pale ale.
There's a time and place for those crazy hot bombs. And
Oh yeah.
Pale ale doesn't need to be one.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
So the other beer we got here is Centennial.
Centennial.
So Centennial is our step up from the pale ale. It's a hoppy pale ale. So what we did is we wanted to make a beer between our pale ale and session IPAs, or our IPAs where they start, and kind of have that, bridge beer between those.
Mm-hmm.
So Centennial is just 2-row the whole way through, and Centennial hops.
Super citrusy smelling.
Yeah, so we just love Centennial hops here. And
nice.
So, we just dosed it. So I keep saying we. So I make the beer here. Michael also makes beer here.
Okay.
I brought him on back in February. Homebrewer 2 brought in some super clean beers, and he brought in his pale ale, some IPAs, and I was like, these are the same style that I'm making here, really clean, crisp.
Yeah.
Emphasis on clean beer. He's been making an awesome beer here with us since then.
This is like a nice, if you're not a huge IPA fan, this is like a gateway IPA.
Yeah, so
it's like the weed of IPA.
Yeah, so Centennial has like a really big like lemon coming through, and a little like grapefruit peel I get off of it.
A little bit of the pith. Yeah. It almost tastes like you squeeze lemon into the beer. It's very citrusy, really good.
Yeah.
Once again, really light and clean. Definitely have this on a hot day.
Yeah, people are saying that's like the best summertime beer right now, just because it cruises in at 5.5 alcohol, and just that lemon note to it just keeps it really fresh.
Absolutely, that's really good. All right, number 3.
Number 3 is Active IPA. Active IPA is a session IPA. Call it active. We have a couple active beers, Red and Active, and then Active IPA.
Okay.
Those are our low alcohol but hoppy beers.
Okay.
So kind of plays off that session IPA thing. When I hear that, I think people sit down drinking their beer.
Right.
I'm a pretty active guy. I like to hike and run and swim and stuff. So I would need a beer that packs a punch with the hops, but doesn't get you drunk. So this one cruises in at 4.4 alcohol. And the whole idea behind this beer was to brew it so that you could jump up to the big IPAs here and then come back to it and have it not taste light or thin.
Yeah, you could definitely get to the top of the mountain, have a couple of these, and be able to make your way back down. Yeah, and it's tasty too.
Yeah, so that one's, got huge tropical notes. Cascade, Centennial, Citra, Mosaic, Amarillo.
Yeah, definitely get the tropical flavors. It smells a lot hoppier than the other two. You can pick that up a lot easier on the nose.
Sure.
Yeah, that's super clean.
Yeah. That's, I drink probably 90%. I drink the pale ale and probably Active IPA.
What are you drinking right now?
I'm drinking Centennial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So it's hot, and I like the little fresh zest.
It's a nice hot day beer.
Yeah.
And then finally, what are we rounding out with?
So fourth beer is called the name's Bomb Hop Bomb. It's a play off of the name's Bond, James Bond.
Oh.
So it's a single hop IPA with experimental hop 007s, formerly known as probably Idaho 7.
Right.
So it's a 7% beer with all one hop. So
yeah, a lot of people are playing around with this hop right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the cool new hop to mess around with.
Yeah, so that's another one-time beer that we made here. Centennial was also one of those, where we just decided, hey, let's see what these hops do and just throw a bunch of hops into a beer, see what the notes are off of it. And people love that. It's got a big, tropical, passion-y.
Yeah, big passion fruit. It doesn't drink like it's 7%.
No, it does not. Most of the beers
sneak
here,
up on you.
Yeah, they're just fermented low and slow, and just clean, so you don't get that heat on it.
Yeah. Are these year-round beers or?
Centennial and Hop Bomb are not.
Okay.
The Pale and Active are, but we have 12 taps here. We always keep 12 different beers on, rotating beers in and out. There's some that are here all the time, but we also like to, brew new beers for us so we can, still have fun and not be stuck making the same beers each time.
Yeah. Speaking of beer, would you say that you guys have like a specialty when it comes to brewing?
Specialty, we like making a lot of IPAs, but people like all the beers, Our stout is solid. We make a lager. People just wait for it each year.
It's hard to find a good lager.
Yeah, so ours has been lagering now for about 3.5 months.
Okay.
So we'll bring it out July, so this month. Yeah.
Perfect, just in time for the heat to kick in, and
yeah.
And I see you've got a little bit of an explosion over there.
Yeah, so
I'll put pictures on Facebook.
Yeah, so fermenting is going off.
What's brewing over there?
That beer is called Stoner Moment IPA. Stoner Moment IPA is our fastest moving beer right now. It's a rotating hopped IPA. We brew the same base beer every time, but dry hopping. Michael and I, we just go where our hops are, and we just pick whichever hops we want to add to it.
Just kind of whatever you can get.
Yeah, we just go into our box here, and we just say, let's throw in 3 pounds of this, 8 pounds of this, 3 of this.
This one smells nice today.
Yeah, and so we just blend that into it, and so each time that beer is different.
Cool, and that's kind of like what Firestone is doing with the Luponic Distortion. People are starting to get into that, and it's fun. It's kind of fun. Like on the show, we've done what we call beer science, and we'll get, say like Luponic Distortion, we'll get 3 of their different series against each other and try and pick out the differences, and it's kind of cool for beer nerds to go through.
Yeah, so brewing, the same base beer for that, and then just the dry hops will change. Sometimes hop back it. it's basically all post-boil hops.
Okay. Yeah, and it's cool how different it can be, even though technically it's like the same
Yeah.
beer, just different hops. So back to your background being a civil engineer, which I think is crazy and cool, and you came from engineering, now you're a brewer.
Yeah.
Did that help you at all, like opening a brewery? You're like, oh, I know my way through City Hall now because I've had to do all this?
Yeah, so I knew how to design. I knew how to build. I knew the contracting aspect. I got a electrical contractor, a concrete guy, and a plumber, and all the rest we did ourselves.
That's cool.
Friends, family, really kept it down low. Didn't really tell too many about this. My whole plan was to not tell everybody, hey, we're opening, and push back.
Right.
Ours was kind of like I think West Coaster found out about 2 to 3 months right before the doors open, and that's when everybody was like, whoa, where did this one come from? So yeah, we kept it really, really low.
Yeah, it was funny. I was doing some Googling before the interview and trying to find out other details, and the first thing that pops up is like 3 different West Coaster articles about how excited they are that Helix is about to open. So it was very cool.
Yeah, but doing engineering helped. I could stamp plans.
Yeah.
I could work with the engineers here. I could get it through. Really speak their language too, and also it was cool for them because they're stoked to see somebody like them with the same background actually
one of their guys
and to make beer. It's everyone's dream to kind of make beer. And,
exactly. When a lot of the brewers and owners that I talk to, they're very much like, what's the biggest barrier to entry? It's like, oh man, getting the permits and all this stuff. Like, you knew your way around. It's straight line for you.
Yeah, permits and codes. It's they're there to keep everyone safe.
Right.
And we just have to go through them. And it was a little one up on me because I could work my way through it and already knew all those codes to get through.
So what moved you to actually open up the brewery?
What moved me to open up the brewery? So I still work my day job. I'm not really a big fan of sitting around at a desk all day. I like moving around, being on my feet, and I really like the art behind beer. I like engineering. I like building stuff, whether it be fixing or to build. That's what I like doing. And so I was just kind of didn't like sitting all day and wanted to use my hands. And I thought, let's move this. Everybody was, trying my beer, and they're like, this is great stuff, comparing it to others. And they're like, this will sell. This will sell very, very well.
Absolutely.
And since opening day, we've been making a lot of beer and selling a ton of beer, too.
So do you have kind of a, I don't know, lack of a better word, a plan as far as like getting out of engineering and just being here full time? Or
yeah, so I tell everybody 6 months, and then 6 months from then it's 6 months. So I'm just doing it. I like what I'm doing there, doing some cool stuff. I've found a way to do both. And why quit just because you want it? If you can do both and you like doing both, you might as well.
The extra paycheck doesn't hurt.
Doing it. Yeah.
One thing I like to ask all the newer breweries: does the brewery support itself and actually turn a profit?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing well. I got no worries. We have an awesome team here. You got myself, one other brewer, and then staff of 5 that pours beer. Nice. And everyone does an awesome job. We give everybody a lot of trust back, and we operate really lean, and people work really hard here.
Yeah, that's cool. You were the second brewery in La Mesa?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, we opened probably 7-8 months after Bolt did.
Okay, and it used to be no breweries in the city, right?
Yeah, so back before the law was passed to actually, able to make beer here, I was looking for a place. I probably looked at maybe 20 different locations just within this one small half mile loop. It's the only area that you can make beer. And looked at a bunch of locations, looked at the first place across the street where Bolt is now. I looked at where Bolt is now. I looked at where Hirsch Pipe is. 3 doors down from here, a couple up the hill, there's like a CrossFit gym up by Edco. I looked at that one. So I looked at a ton of places, did drawings for some of those, just to kind of see how the flow would work, but nothing really jumped out at me until I saw this place, and I was like, this is perfect. I like the building type. I like the how close we are to the freeway, you know, the outdoor space that we have here, and everything just kind of lined up.
Yeah, the whole thing,
solid.
I mean, together is just gorgeous.
Thanks.
The outdoor, the indoor, it all works. It flows into the outdoor nicely. I mean,
Yeah.
clearly you know what you're doing when it comes to that end of things also, so that probably helped.
Yeah, it's cool to have that tree out back there. It really makes that back door, you know, more soft from all the concrete we have, the brick, the steel. To actually have, you know, a large tree in a box with this bar that you can sit around under a tree in this area, like
nice little shady,
it's like people just come back and they think they're in some other world.
Yeah. Did that used to be like a parking lot out there?
Yeah,
or
it was
what?
a parking lot for the auto shop.
Oh, so was this the auto shop? This building?
This was a towing dispatch center. A similar business to the guys behind me, the auto shop there. They would just share the lot for cars.
Okay.
And funny thing is like the first year that I was building this place, I'd be here, you know, every Saturday morning early, and just like all the walls are knocked down, you know, everything's just out, and hungover girls and guys would walk in, they'd be like, "Hey, do you have my car here?" I'm like, "Sorry, this place has been gone for about, you know, a few months to a year." And they're like, "Where's my car?" I'm like, "I don't know." So everybody would come here after their night and, you know, car towed and trying to find their car. And I'm like, this place is not.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Did you ever get any phone calls like, "Hey, do you have my car?"
No,
different number.
We didn't have any lines then. We ripped everything out. So
that's so funny. Bolt Brewery down the street, like we said, they opened a few months before you guys. Are you guys cool with each other? Is there like some big competition rivalry thing going on, or?
There's no real rivalry with any brewery here. We make different beers, you know. We try and emphasis on, you know, really dry, hoppy, clean beers. Yeah. It's just the style of beer. It's nice to have them close by. People walk between us and them. There's a winery halfway between.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, there's some that just park and they just kind of walk between us three and kind of hit that loop.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What about, you know, being in the San Diego area, there's like, 140 something breweries?
Yeah.
Like, is that kind of like, oh shit, why would I ever think of opening a brewery? Or is it like, oh, obviously they embrace beer, I should open up a brewery here?
My plan here is just to emphasize on-site sales. Just, you know, tasting room is the most fun. We're not getting into it to, you know, mass produce and ship beer all over.
Not the next Stone or New Belgium or something.
Yeah, we like to really make small batch beer, 10 barrels each time, and really emphasize on quality and how fresh it is just being poured at our location.
Okay, that's cool. You know, speaking of small batch like that, have you heard the very recent news of the new independent beer logo that their Brewers Association came out with?
Yeah, they just sent that over to us too. You know, it's an upside down beer bottle.
A lot of people do not like the logo.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the logo?
I mean, I saw it and I was like, you know, I think they could have done a little bit more with like a jab to the big beer scene. But, you know, I don't think it's really right to, you know, completely jab those who used to be part of that group too. Yeah. You know, and supporting the whole main cause here, which is just to make beer, have fun to make beer. So not out to, you know, make jabs at anybody. I just like having fun with it.
Well, plus you don't do any sort of bottling or canning, so I mean,
Correct.
where would you put it anyways at this point?
Yeah.
Some of the issues I've heard, people don't like the fact that the bottle's upside down. Some people said it should be a can instead of a bottle since everybody's moving towards canning.
Yeah.
The problem I heard from another brewer, though, with canning is it just looked like a Budweiser can at that point. Like, it would be no distinguishable thing. And that when you see a bomber, you think craft beer.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick. I'm sure they had a bunch of different logos out there. And they probably had a vote. I didn't see any vote. It didn't come through us. You know, we just got the, hey, here's our new thing.
Right.
You know?
Here you go.
But I think it's cool. It's a good way to start. From there, it can only.
And I like the idea behind it. I mean, it's trying to help educate people. Like, you know, this place is actually owned by Budweiser, and this place is not. So come drink here and spend your dollars here.
Yes.
So it's a cool concept. Any regrets in opening the brewery? And not like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have opened it, but like the way you did it. Is there anything you wish you would have done differently or?
No, I don't have any.
differently?
I mean, there's a couple things that I fixed throughout the way. When I was designing the tap layout here, I was thinking, you know, at home I had 8 taps. So I was like, oh, I'll do 8. And I'm like, oh, let me do 10. just in case, because I was going to fit 10 beers on
Yeah.
our tap board. And I was like, no, let me do 12. And so I'm glad I did 12, and now I wish I had a lot more tap space.
Yeah.
It's good that there's only 12 because it keeps our beer here really fresh. We don't have beers sitting because the beers are moving so quick. We probably pour about 98% of the beer that we make right here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans or aspirations of bottling or canning?
I mean, I would love to can. It's a big investment up front. It's not in the plan right now to do that. We do have a lot of oak barrels filled with sour beer. And
Okay.
so that's my next big emphasis is to, get those things out on draft. Emphasize on just making great beer and pouring great beer here and not worrying about packaging and those costs. Just to keep beer local, keep it fresh, keep it at a price that that's fair. Our prices here, people say, are awesome. We charge $4 for a pint
Can't
of
go
beer.
wrong. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. And that was going to be my next question was the barrels. Last time we were here, you guys were actually like putting those barrels together.
Okay.
And you're hammering together and
Yeah,
it was super
driving the hoops
noisy.
down.
And it was crazy watching you guys do it, filling them up with water, emptying them,
Yep.
filling them back up. It was kind of cool to
Yeah,
watch.
getting them to swell and getting them all cleaned up too.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to ask is what was in them. And when do you plan on opening
That's
those babies
the golden
up?
question. So, we have about 40 wine barrels here, hoping to get some more in the next couple months. We've tested through about, I'd say, 2/3 of them, and every single one I'm super stoked on.
Nice.
I don't know when they'll be out. I was telling people 2017.
Yeah.
I'm hoping still to achieve that. It's just kind of like where we are in that step to move all that sour beer out and just have a place for them to pour here too.
Was there any worry about putting the sour stuff in the brewery around all the other beer? I know a lot of people like to set them off to the side and.
No, there's not any issues with that. We have a really good cleaning process here. We use ozone, so we can kill everything. We don't work on the sour beers the same day that we're doing our clean steel beers. It's always different days, so we keep things separated that way.
Cool. Craft beer. Why do you think it's growing so rapidly right now?
People like how they can come to a place, they can socialize, it's a good feel, everybody's really happy. There's always new beer out there, something to talk to, the atmosphere where you can enjoy that beer. Yeah, it's just a new place for people to hang out in. There's always something to do, something going on. It's a free place for people to go for, entertainment, whether it be music, food trucks to watch, or, play cards, play board games.
You guys got the cornhole outside.
Yeah.
You've always got bands and stuff going on.
Yeah.
And food
yeah,
trucks.
it's easy. Everybody can just walk in and, get a beer and kind of chill. There's not this sit down, waiting on type thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool way just to come and chill.
Yeah. The one thing I like to ask all the guys on the West Coast, especially in San Diego, is how do you feel about all the hazy New England IPAs?
I've had a lot of those. One of our food trucks, Caliano truck, he does wood-fired pizza here every Wednesday. Solid food. He's really into those hazy beers, so he brings them in every single time, and we try them. They're good. I'm a fan of clean-looking, clear beer. We don't really haze our beers on purpose, but we do have some beers that have that haze just by how much hop oils are locked into that beer.
Okay.
So like our beer Galaxy Rye IPA, there's so much hop in there, and it's infused in a way that it never falls out until our last keg poured here, and it still had that haze to it.
Oh, really?
But it's not a true hazy beer that we try and promote it as. It's just a very hoppy beer with those hop oils just jammed in there.
I mean, but does it pour out like orange juice like some of these East
It's
Coast
not
beers?
thick like orange juice, but it doesn't look like see-through like every
like these
other
are super
beer that we
clear.
do.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of people on the West Coast especially get very angry when I ask that question. They have strong feelings and are. I think my favorite response so far has been, well, it was really nice of them to come up with a way to market their fuck up.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
all right.
Some of them taste good,
Yeah.
but others are just terrible. And
Yeah.
I think, it's the same way with sour beers. You can make a kettle sour beer, but, it's not going to taste like a true sour beer. All the ones we make here are barrel fermented sour beers.
Yeah, that's cool. The internet. How has the internet changed beer? stuff
the
like
internet.
Untapped and Beer Advocate and all these guys.
So going that route, let me go back to the other route first.
Okay.
The internet changed homebrewing a lot.
Oh yeah,
Just
super
being
easy.
easy to access information, blogs talking about beer, access to supplies, to building things. How do you do this? How do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was a big emphasis in the craft beer scene. Before that, it was, hey, go to your homebrew shop and get a
Right.
book.
Yeah, exactly.
But the
Now you can
books,
YouTube everything.
Yeah, but the books couldn't come out fast enough as, hey, I mixed these 3 hops. It was awesome. I mixed this and this, or I tried this process. That way, the internet was awesome. That's what kind of got me going. Podcasts, beer podcasts. I listened to all those. Yeah, just reading blogs. The other stuff, Untapped.
Yeah.
I don't like Yelp. Yelp's good. Yelp's bad sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think Untapped's cool. The ways people rate beer, I think, are pretty dumb because,
Yeah.
you could have somebody who, tries a Belgian beer and they're like, half star. I don't like Belgian beers.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like-
not fair.
I'm like, you ordered a Belgian beer. Then others are like 4.5, 5
Right.
stars. It's like,
I find a lot of people on Untapped especially like to do the whole they love IPAs, so if it kicks them in the teeth and it knocks their taste buds out of whack, then all of a sudden it's 5 stars.
yeah.
And also if it's super hard to find, it's 5 stars.
Exactly.
It's like,
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to that whole craze of what's going on.
Yeah.
I think it helps. It gives others avenues as to how to promote beer, how to see how your beer is doing. At first, I would look at the ranking stuff and see what they think, and now
Yeah.
I just go off of people come back for the same beer, and they come back again and again, and they just love that beer, and I'm like, okay, I keep trying to improve it each time, little tweaks there, and for the most part, I'm stoked with everything.
If it sells, then it sells.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, if it sells, that works. But, us here, we really try and, still try and push beer
Right.
and, make the beer as clean, as great as we can each time.
Yeah, what I'm saying, like, if, say, Untapped gave one of the beers,
Oh, yeah.
a 2-star, but it also was, like, your second best seller in the tasting room.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's selling. You wouldn't want to get rid of it because Untapped is,
No.
the people of Untapped are assholes.
Yeah.
Or can be.
Yeah,
So,
some people, they'd rank the beer based on if they like it or not,
Right.
and not ranking it based on style.
yeah, it'd be nice if people were a little more objective. And they could even say, I don't like this, but, it very much matches the style. And if
Yeah.
you're into this, whatever, you should.
Yeah.
So, anyway, enough about that. What is your favorite brewery other than your own?
Favorite brewery? When I was in college, I was drinking a lot of Firestone.
Yeah, up and slow.
Yeah, I have a few friends that work there still. They're all cool guys. So I always like their beer. Like going up to Slow, obviously. Local Beer Society does an awesome job. I like how clean their beers are. They're just crisp, clean. They're just making great beer. Friends with the guys at Burning Beard. They're cool too.
Okay.
I like how those guys, wanted to build a place just like Society did. They really had a passion to make great beer, and that's what they're doing. They're not getting into it just to operate a business. Their hands are in
Right.
it, just like me here. They're doing the work too. I think that's important.
I won't mention names, but I was recently at a brewery where it's very much like, oh, this area doesn't have a lot of breweries, and it's a cool thing to do, so we'll just open up this brewery.
Yeah.
And you could tell from the beer that it was just, not that great. It was more of opening a brewery and less about making good beer.
Yeah, so there's that whole thing now. I think that you just can't open a place and sell beer. You really have to have your beer, solid beer, but also
Yeah.
a cool place.
Yeah. And you can always tell when the brewer, like you, very much cares about the beer.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if somebody came up to you and was like, hey, man, the Bomb Hot Bomb, it's just a horrible example of the style and it tastes like shit, I think you'd probably take that defensive or take it to heart and start working on it.
Yeah, I mean, I would look at some things like that, but then again, I would go back and see which beers are just flying out of here.
Well, yeah.
And, I can look and see, which beers sell, and it's weird. There's not one beer that just stands out across the board.
It's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, our Pale, our Session IPA, Galaxy, and Stoner Moment, those are all within, like, a 0.1%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
really cool.
everything's moving at the same speed just because everybody likes every beer that we make here.
Yeah, I've had a lot of the list, and that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Thank you so much. Tell people how to come stalk you and drink your beer.
Alrighty. You can stalk me on Instagram is the main place. I have fun with that. It's not only the insight as to the beer that we have here, but also what we like doing. I like hiking. I like outdoors. I like dogs. So, I think a brewery itself should emphasize more of what you like doing and what you're passionate about, and not just beer. So Instagram's an awesome place. You'll see, how we make the beer, when we do it, the food trucks we have. You can do the Facebook thing, Twitter, our website, drinkhelix.com. On there you can see when we have food trucks, which ones each time. We have live music Friday, Saturday nights for free.
You guys always have food trucks. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, we always do. Our Taco Tuesday is the best in town. $10, all you can eat tacos.
And I heard there was like a new record set recently, like 20 something.
It's insane how much people. I always cap myself at 8 or 9, and that's like my tops now. I used to be doing 12, and I'm like, that's too much. But yeah, whoever broke 20, I feel bad for them that next day.
I mean, that night I'm sure was fantastic. But yeah, the next morning that's rough.
Yeah.
All right, so drinkhelix.com, like you said, all the social medias are at Helix Brewing Co. Follow and like and tweet and whatever the cool kids are doing these days. 8101 Commercial Street in La Mesa. Do you guys have any cool events coming up or anything? Or?
Yeah, so August 26th is our big 2-year party.
Nice.
It's free, no tickets, no nothing. Just come out and enjoy a great beer with us and celebrate great beer. Awesome food trucks. We have one of my favorite bands here. They're this like jam band. They got a banjo going the whole time.
Nice.
And it's just cool. It's different than what others do, and it's a really fun time to come out. Food trucks, different beers on tap, places jamming. We have a great time that day.
Dig it. All day on Saturday, August 26th.
Saturday, August 26th, 12 to 10.
Nice. Am I forgetting anything?
Just come out, check it out, and if you have a good time, tell us, and especially tell your friends, so we can keep having fun here.
And good Yelp and Untapped ratings.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Make sure you get those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, sir. Cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks one more time to Cameron for having me, for being a great host. He's such a cool dude. I was trying to leave, and he's like, you can't leave without a little bit of beer. So I got a little bit of pale ale, and I'm sipping on it right now, and it's absolutely fantastic. Nothing better than a nice, easy-to-drink pale ale when it's 900 degrees out. So thank you so much to him. Hopefully you guys, when you go to Helix, they have the double Helix on tap. That is my favorite of their beers. It's absolutely delicious. Don't forget to check out their 2 anniversary party, 2 years of being open. August 26th, that's a Saturday. It's all day long at the Brewery, 8101 Commercial Street, La Mesa, California, just outside of San Diego. So go check that out. I mentioned a giveaway. Yes, I did. I have a little bit of swag to give away. Cameron hooked it up with some stickers. And, of course, we've got some Unfiltered Gentlemen stickers and coasters that we'd love to put in your hands. So here's what we're going to do. I think what we should do is have people do one of two things. We'll have a couple of winners here. You can send us a beer review. It does not have to be Helix, but I think if you do send us a Helix beer review, you're kind of like automatically in there. Send us a beer review. You can email it to theunfilteredgentleman@gmail.com, and that can be written or preferred if you did a little voice memo thing on your phone and sent it that way. You could also leave a voicemail, 805-538-BEER, 2337 on our voicemail. We could do it that way as well. Or the other way to enter is just go to iTunes, leave a nice little rating and review, and mention Helix somewhere in that review. That way I know, you left it for the contest, and I can hook you up with some stickers. It's just that easy. It's that fun. Get yourself some Helix and Unfiltered Gentleman swag. What's better than that? You can use our coaster while you're drinking a tasty beer. Maybe a Helix beer. Okay, I'll stop now. Don't forget to check them out on the social medias at Helix Brewing Co. for everything, or drinkhelix.com. And like I said, 8101 Commercial Street in La Mesa. Do not miss them. Seriously, this is not a paid thing. They didn't ask me to say great things. Cameron is making absolutely fantastic beer down there, and you guys should all go try it out. You know where to find us, theunfilteredgentleman.com. Trying to tell one of your drunken buddies to listen to the show, just theunfilteredgentleman.com/listen. Has all the ways, iPhone, Droid, whatever you got. You can listen to it right there. Or on any podcast app of your choosing. Yes. Also, you get us on the social medias, The Unfiltered Gentleman, except for Twitter, @UnfilteredGents, right there. We got pictures of the interview. We got pictures of the beers we're drinking and all kinds of good stuff. And don't forget, we love drunken voicemails. Leave us a drunken voicemail at 805-538-BEER-2337. I think that's all for me. We'll be back with the full crew next week. Make sure in the meantime you guys are staying hydrated. And on that note, good night, everybody.